Hi, we're back. Today we're going to talk about mineral pigments. Barb actually asked this question, so we are going to do a little demo with our mineral pigment powders. The other day we did a splurge demo and I told you guys that I use the same technique or pattern just about every day. We're going to use that same one again today. I will eventually teach you different kinds, but this is actually the easiest way to wear eyeshadow. So I have Daring, Regal, and Sexy. The reason that I chose Regal today is I want to show you a little trick with the mineral pigments. So Daring is my darkest color. So I'm going to apply my darkest color to the back corners like we talked last time. So the mineral pigments are loose. So you want to dab your deluxe brush in there. And then I actually just put it into here to take off the excess. You don't need a lot of mineral pigment, so I just want to dust a little amount in there. You can pour a little bit from the jar into the lid as well, but I find that's even too much, so I just dip the brush into the jar and then dip it into the lid and kind of take it off. So we're going to just paint this on in the corner V, remember, from the middle to the outside corner. Super easy. Super quick. Voila, this is going to become our smoky eye. That's all I needed. So I'm going to put that all back in there. That is why I don't pour from the jar into the lid, because I never use that much. I just dust off my brush if I'm going to use the same brush. But I'm going to try something different. So the Regal will go on dry. But with mineral pigments, you can also use them wet. So I'm going to show you what it looks like on one eye dry. So you're going to dab. This is the liner shader brush. Dab this excess off into the lid. So we're going to put this on the inside for my color pop. Mineral pigments are nice because you can use as little or as much as you want to create more color. See? Beautiful. Now, this is kind of a more subtle, lighter color. If you want it to be lighter, oh, that's way too dark, you just have to brush it off, blend it out, add a lighter color on top, et voila. But what I want to show you guys is how to make a cream eyeshadow. So you just take your little tiny bit of powder that's in the lid and you add a tiny squirt of rose water. That's it. Just a tiny little bit of rose water. And then you take your brush and you dab it into the mixture. You have to make a little bit more of a consistency, liquid consistency. So if you didn't put enough, you want to make like a paste with it. So depending on how much pigment you put in the lid, you may or may not need more rose water or more powder. So then you've created a nice cream shadow. So then you can paint that on and you see the difference. You get that wicked color pop when it's wet versus dry. See the difference? Now I've got a cream shadow versus a dry pigment shadow. So because I don't want to have two different eyes today, I'm going to do the wet over top of the dry that I had over here, so that we can have purple eyeshadow today. Now, this is a pretty bold color. I do not expect you guys to wear it like this, and I'm not done with it yet, so don't judge. So now that I have the cream shadow, you can see that I've made the cream shadow and I've gone into the Daring. And you just blend that out if you have a line, which we don't have a line, goes right nicely into that. So now we want to do the highlighting color. Remember how when we talked about the splurge, I told you guys to take the color from here all the way up? Obviously, I can't do that today because I have Regal on, and that's one of the brightest colors. So we're gonna use Sexy. Sexy is my highlighting color. If I use a mineral pigment, I use Sexy. If I use a cream shadow, I use Elegant. They are the same color. They are just, one is powder and one is a cream shadow, but they pretty much are the identical colors of each other. So I'm going to take this up into the highlight brow bone area to tone that down just a little bit, blend that together. And you can see that as I was adding the color, the line goes away. That distinctive line that's right here goes away when you add the highlight. This is why you add the highlight, or why you take your current color, the purple, and blend it up. You do not want to walk around with that line on your eyelids. Now, I do have super high brow bones and a really big eyelid. I have a lot of eye space area to be able to do this, but the technique is the same even if you have less of a brow bone area. And voila, beautiful. Obviously, when I'm done the rest of my stuff, it will look a little bit different. So makeup's a process. When you wear it like this, you might think that this is too dark and you can't pull this off. But by the time that I do my brows, my eyeliner, and my mascara, this is not going to be as bright. However, the color pop like this is going to stay there all day because of the primer and because I wore it wet. So the cream shadows, if you are concerned about them creasing, do not crease. The mineral pigments, wet or dry, do not crease. If you're concerned about them creasing or you want them to stay longer, use the primer. The primer is amazing. You need the primer. Otherwise, this will stay. Actually, I should take a picture for you guys tonight when before I take it off, just to show you that it does stay all day long. They last, and they're 100% mineral. So there's your mineral pigment tutorial.